Chair.
I want to make sure the witness had a fulsome time for answer, but you're over. Turning now to beginning our second round. Our second round consists of six slots. Mr. Brock, you have the first, please, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for the witnesses for your attendance today. Since Justin Trudeau formed government, KPMG has been one of the leading recipients of government contracts to the tune of almost $250 million. Of that, we hear today your work surrounding the ArriveCAN app and implementation is roughly $5 million. Now, I've listened very carefully to your evidence. I've heard references to the CBSA. I've heard references to public health. Have there been any other ministries involved?
Thank you very much for the member's question. KPMG has been doing business with the federal government for many years.
Not asking that question. In relation to the ArriveCAN app and implementation, were you working other than with public health and CBSA, any other ministries?
Thank you for the member's question, and thank you for clarifying the question. For the public health agency work we did, we were aware that there were ongoing discussions with other government departments as part of operational implementation of the program. We were not contracted by, nor did we have any direct contracting or procurement-related discussions as it related to ArriveCAN to support that work.
Okay, so let's talk about the contracts. We talked about the competitive contract that you were asked to bid on. We also know through the Auditor General's report there were a number of non-competitive contracts that you were ultimately awarded. So just the number, how many were competitive and how many were non-competitive?
Thank you for the member's question. So the initial TA was the competitive SEPs. So that was the.
Is that the only one? Is that the only one that was competitive?
That is correct for the public health agency related work.
Right.
And if I may, there were then 2 subsequent contracts directly awarded by the public health agency to KPMG.
That were non-competitive?
That is correct.
Okay.
They were directed to us.
Okay. And what about through CBSA?
Thank you. The work that we did on the cybersecurity front, there were 2 contracts that were with GC Strategies. There was no contract direct with the CBSA.
You were non-competitive as well, correct?
Thank
you
you.
weren't bidding with other companies. You were asked to work with GC Strategies, so it was a non-competitive contract.
Thank you. We were asked to submit a proposal to GC Strategies.
Which was ultimately granted.
Which was granted.
Right. So 2 with CBSA, 2 with PHAC, that's 4, and 1 was competitive for $5 million. How many employees for those 5 contracts worked on that for $5 million? How many employees at KPMG?
Thank you for the member's question. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but I can say that over the close to 2.5 years of time that we supported the public health agency, we had a number of people. So I was the engagement partner, but we had a number of people. I think on the original TA, we might have had 10 or 15 people that were identified that participated in some initial stakeholder engagement.
Okay.
And then as time went on, we had...
So let's move on to the issue now that you were directed by CBSA to work directly with GC Strategies. You indicated, sir, when pressed, that was Mr. Antonio Utano, right?
Thank you for your question. That is correct.
Yes. Did he reach out directly to you or another partner?
Thank you. Mr. Utano reached out to our federal government practice. And
what does that mean?
So KPMG has a number of industry specialists.
Yeah.
And
who did he speak with at KPMG?
Thank you. He ultimately spoke with a partner in our cybersecurity.
Who?
So the partner's name in the cybersecurity team was Mr. Imran Bashir.
Okay. All right. And how was that communicated? Was it a phone call? Was it an email? Was it a text?
Thank you. The initial conversation was through email.
Through email.
The initial reach out was through email.
Do you still have a copy of that email?
Thank you. I would need to investigate and check.
Okay. I'll be asking you within the time permitted by this committee to tender that email. In fact, any and all correspondence, written correspondence, whether that's snail mail, email, a text message, any correspondence between CBSA and KPMG to work specifically with GC. Can you provide that to us?
Thank you. We will definitely have a look to see what we have and what we can provide and get back to you.
Okay. Were you communicating at all with any other member of the CBSA team?
Thank you for your question. No, not to my knowledge.
Were you communicating with any elected official? The
Thank you
president
again.
of the CBSA, the deputy minister, the minister of public safety,
Mr. Brock, your
anything
time
like
is up.
that?
I'm going to allow an answer, but
Thank you. No.
All right.
thank you very much.
And Chair, could we identify the timeline, please?
I will at the end, but yes, we'll come back to requested documents, and I will explain how that works. Ms.